she was telling school officials that I was neglecting my son's mental health and berating him or preventing him from seeking the help that he wanted.
If I'm putting my hands on somebody else to defend myself and to try and attempt to de-escalate the situation, rather than putting my hands on somebody else to cause them harm, how do you differentiate the situation? How do you even know what exactly happened if you weren't even there at the time?
The Board of Ed caught the child's eye, immediately brought the child in for questioning and said, who did this? What happened? Yada, yada, yada. Lo and behold, during the little interview that they gave his brother actually told the Board of Ed that I hit him.
The human race is divided in two distinct sexes, male and female. While the typical man is a simple creature, there exists a subgroup, the nice guy, a dying breed of chivalrous, romantic, domesticated gentlemen whose qualities are desired by the opposite sex, allegedly. However, they are dismissed and confined in such concepts as the bestie, work husband, and the dreaded friend zone. Joe, Jason, and Manny are the last of the nice guys.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another fantastic episode of The Last of the Nice Guys. I am Joe, and with me are Jason and Manny. Tonight's topic is a very interesting one and probably a very long one also, titled A Father's Tale. A Father's Tale. I'm sorry. Whoa, I butchered that shit. I guess the whole thing that I wrote completely undid itself. Father's Tale, a defamation of character.
Okay, that was. I don't know
what happened. I typed it in and it somehow just undid itself.
I don't know what's more disturbing, that intro or how close and intimate Joe gets with his mic now. Okay,
go fuck yourself.
It's this is Joe the Stallion, and you listen to Quiet Storm on The Last of the Nice Guys. Defamation. I mean, I don't know
what happened. I typed it all in completely as, you would like it because you like your stuff particular. And for some reason
because I have to do post-production, you guys get to
I know,
sign off.
But that's why I write this shit down now from now on.
And it seems to work.
It seems to work. I should do this from episode 1.
We're gonna try to keep this as lighthearted as possible. I'll do the best that I can, ladies and gentlemen. But this is a topic that is very, very, very fresh with me right now. So I might get a little uppity, and I apologize if I start yelling into the mic. So this topic is inspired by two events that happened recently regarding two grandmothers in a how do I say this diplomatically? Attacking or critiquing my parenting style or my parenting in general. So let's bring it up. First one, my mother.
You should take a shot of something before you.
No, I actually had some Disaronno. I was drinking.
Okay. I'm just saying because this is going to be a very.
Here, let's start like this. You guys may not know it or not, but I never wanted to have kids. It was never in my future. I never wanted, partially because I did not want to be responsible for raising another life, and mostly because I didn't want to visit the sins of my father onto me. Never wanted to have kids. That's why when my kid's mom got pregnant, I lost my goddamn mind because not only was it disappointing myself in my future, derailing my future, deferring my dreams, it also was a fundamental facet of my personality. that I screwed up on, that I allowed to happen. And here I am now, continuing the curse, continuing the nonsense. And I was deadly afraid of doing to me, to my offspring, what my father did. And it wasn't, it was, it doesn't matter what it was. The fact of the matter was that I have trauma. Let's say it like that. If I want to use that term, that's what, at least that's what my, not my therapist, but my acting therapist told me. I have trauma. I have issues. We when it comes to childhood, we all do it in some kind of way, and it informs who we are, and it would inform me by not having kids. Now, why do I say that? The first issue that I had regarding is with, I have a particular, I don't really call it a rule. It's more of an instruction. And the instruction, i.e. rule, is to my offspring, it's always been like this, whether it's my place or where I'm staying now. If you're exiting the house for any reason, let me know. I want to be very clear. The instruction is, there is no interpretation. There is no other way to look at it. There's no middle of the road. There's no backstory. It is, if you're leaving the house for any reason, just let me know. And so with my son, we had a little situation where he left the house just to get the mail, but he didn't let me know. For all I saw him do was leave the house. And I, in his word, chewed him out for it. I said, well, and chewing out is more me talking like this. Did you just leave the house without letting me know where you're going? Well, I went to go to get the mail like you told me. Well, I didn't tell you. I told you and your brother, and that was like 15 minutes ago. Is it possible that I forgot? And furthermore, what's so hard about saying, hey, I'm stepping out to get the mail, on your way out to getting the mail? So that caused a rift. A couple weeks later, because he had already been getting on my nerves with a couple of things, challenging a lot of really minor rules that is just more like respect. Please tell me when you got picked up. Please tell me when you come home. Please tell me, answer my text when I send it. That's pretty much it. I don't really have any rules, like that, because my kids are really, really good. Cut to a random conversation with my mother, and she did not respect or understand this instruction at all. She said, for lack of a better word, it was draconian, that it made no sense. They're good kids. Why are you restricting their movements? Why do they have to report to you when they're just stepping outside the house just to go to the front of the house? Why? Basically questioning the entire rule itself. And I found it weird because, again, the instruction is, if you're stepping out of the house for any reason, just let me know. They didn't say ask for permission. I didn't say tell me where you're going. If I have a follow-up question, as a parent, I have that right. Just let me know on your way out. I'm headed out. I'm going to go outside. I want to go look at the sun rays. That's all it is. I was wrong. She took it a step further by saying that this rule would make my children despise me in the future. And furthermore, that this is behavior dangerously close to my father. Mm. And further, that and wrapping it up to, quote unquote, the way I speak to my kids reminds her of him, and she's trying to stop the cycle. I can't tell you exactly what I said out of the anger that exploded out of me, but it wasn't nice. And I did try and stop this conversation before I got this far. What she's saying is this rule is dangerously close to the way my father treated me and my siblings, and that apparently I speak to my kids a certain way. And when I asked for an example, she couldn't give me one, or she wouldn't give me one. I said, okay, how do I speak to them? Because I'm pretty sure I'm pretty cool. How do I speak to them? It was bad. It was a bad conversation, and it has really affected me in a way that I did not expect. Because that is basically telling, the way I see the way my father raised me is akin to telling a good Samaritan that you're the devil. Pretty much. You're telling a good Samaritan you're the devil because you're shoveling the ground the wrong way. I'll make it very clear. My rule is only, and it's not even a rule, it's an instruction, it's just out of respect. If you're exiting the house, please let me know. So that's how that went. So basically, by the rules like these, I'm like my father, and that is the most insulting thing you can say to me because of how I feel about my father handled me as a kid and why I had left New York and everything. It was all because of that nonsense. That was a sore topic for me. 3 weeks later, my son has these special. He's on the autism spectrum. He's the most highest functioning autistic kid I've ever met but it's back in the past. They have these meetings, these quarterly meetings where they discuss strategies and nonsense. I unfortunately got into the meeting 18 minutes late. And I will ask you guys who are listening, have you ever walked into a room and listened to somebody talking bad behind your back? Ever? Just walked into, you heard it. And all you could do was stop, listen, and your mouth open. When I got into this meeting, it was midway through their mom's mom, their nana, their grandmother on their mom's side, telling the panel of 6 or 7 or 8, I don't know, school officials that his father is preventing him from getting the help that he needs. His father is brainwashing him to not want to go seek therapy. That I don't know why his father had to speak to him. All his father had to do was give the authorization so he can go to therapy. I don't know why after he spoke to his father, he didn't want to go to therapy anymore. I'm concerned that his father is making him feel some kind of way about this. I believe that he doesn't want to disappoint his father. So that's why he doesn't want to go to therapy, even though he says he wants to go to therapy. Basically, they were telling she was telling school officials that I was neglecting my son's mental health and berating him or preventing him from seeking the help that he wanted. After listening to this, my mouth was oh, I'm not joking. I stood there and listened. This is a Zoom call on my phone, and I was like this, mouth open. I don't know how I snapped out of it, and I said, "Let me stop you right there. Let's get back now. Let's give you the preamble to this." Their mother called me and said, "Your son said he wants to go out to therapy. The therapist said she'll see him, but she needs your authorization." I asked her, I said, "My son wants to go out to therapy? He told you?" Why do I say this? Because the last time he was in therapy, I took him. I paid for all but 2 sessions, all of it, every week. Okay. So for him to go to her, especially since I ask him every once in a while, just for the sake of it, it didn't feel right to me.
Right.
I don't know how you guys are, but I take what my kid's mom says to me about my children at face value. I confer with the boys. Even if it's, hey, the boys told me they want to come back to the house this weekend. I say, cool, let me speak to the boys and I'll get back with you. I always double check with my children because of the history that I have with my children's mother. I'm not saying she's a liar. What I am saying though is she manipulates the truth. She's slick like that. She told me my son came to her, said he wanted to go to therapy again. I questioned it. So I called him up. Hey, what's up? Listen, your mom contacted me and said that you want to go to therapy again. So I just wanted to confirm with you. So when I send the email out to give authorization, I just want to make sure that's what you want. He goes, hold on, wait a minute. That's not what I said. What do you mean? He goes, no, that's not what happened. Mom said she's going to therapy again. And she asked me if I wanted to come. I said, sure, I'll go to 1 session. And so I said, son, that's not the impression she has. She says you came to her, you want to go back. Are you telling me that's not accurate? No, Dad. I just said I'll go to 1 session. Basically, he was appeasing her. That's what it sounded like to me. I said, listen, you need to contact your mom. She has a totally different impression. Let me know. He calls her, tells her. He texts me, okay, she understands. And I said, all right, well, I'll send it for 1 session. That's what you said, right? Okay. I deferred to what he wanted. That's all I did. I told him, I don't care either way. Just let me know what I'm putting in this email. That's all. That's all. I literally said that. I don't care either way. Let me know what I'm putting in this email. Is it 1 session or is it sessions? I don't care. I'm not paying. I'm not going. I told her, and okay, this is what we did. I spoke to Theo. He said it's just one session. Here it is for one session. She says thank you. Apparently, my son was upset, kind of upset, and kicking himself for saying, "Oh man, I should have been more. I should have been more. I don't know, forthcoming with mom, or I should have been more clear. And here I am making things more complicated." And he was kind of down on himself. And apparently, his nana was around, listening to that. His nana told that board of school officials that she thinks my son is going to commit suicide. My son, who goes out with friends, has a job. Hold on, goes out with friends because he has by himself with his own little crew. Has a job that he goes and does just great. Prances around my house listening to music. Prances around my house, and like any other kid, plays video games and goes, "Oh come on! Oh my god! Oh no!"
He gets frustrated. Yeah.
I don't see him sitting in the corner staring at the wall. I don't see him moping. I don't see any of that. When she comes out her mouth and says, "I'm concerned that he's going to commit suicide," I said, "What in the actual fuck?" So so back to the thing. Now I want to remind you guys, she told a panel of school officials that the reason why he's not going to seek the help that he wants is because of his father. That's what she's saying. She is now accusing me to school officials of neglecting my child's mental health, and potentially coercing him into not seeking help. That's the impression she gave. I jumped in there and said, "Let me stop you right there." And I explained the whole situation. What the mother said, what he said, and what I did. And that literally all I was doing was getting clarifications. Then I proceeded to say, "I have no idea what you're doing on this phone call, Nana." That's what I said. And then told her, yeah, I did. And then I said, "You have lost your goddamn mind to accuse me of this on this call," right? So this is when their mother wants to chime in. "Jason, this is not the time and the place." I said, "Really?" I said, "So you let your mom accuse me on this meeting of this, but as I'm defending myself, now it's not the time? Now it's not the time?" Unfortunately for me, this is when I started getting irate. It's a bad look for me, and I get it, but I was so upset. One of the school officials was trying to get me to calm down, and I yelled, "Quiet, I'm speaking." I thought it was the Nana trying to stop me, trying to backtread. It wasn't. So when the mother said, "Hey, Jason, that's one of the school officials, she's trying to come, stop you from talking or whatever," I said, "I apologize." I put my phone, my thing on mute. I didn't say another thing for the entire meeting. When I said, "Quiet, I'm talking," if you saw all the eyeballs bulge, and one of the teachers actually mouthed, "Wow." I looked, listen, I'm telling you right now, I didn't scream, but I was clearly irate. And and once again, they let me look like a crazy fuck. So not only do they have the belief that I'm being, but they say, "Oh, he has anger issues probably." I look terrible. It's a shame because I tell everybody, feel your feelings, but you're in control of what they make you do. But when it comes to these people, those two particularly, they bring out the worst in me. The worst. And the sad part about it, though, is that I wouldn't have known she was telling the teachers this about me behind my back if I never got on this call.
Right.
That's what angers me the most, is that she was saying this bullshit behind my back. And I happened to log in and hear it. I don't know what she said in the beginning. That's the impression she gave.
Probably a whole bunch of shit.
Could you imagine if I never logged on, what she probably would have been saying, or what impression they would have had? I'm
pretty sure you would have had a letter sent in the mail.
Absolutely. You're claiming neglect, child neglect. Oh, because my son told in a written statement to the teachers, "I live with dad. I see mom and my siblings regularly, but I live with dad." So dad is a primary parent for this child, and he's not letting his son seek mental help. That's what you're telling them. Defamation of character, lying on me with both of them. Whether you're telling me that my behavior or my rule is negative and will make my children hate me, or you're telling authorities that that I'm not doing something which is clearly not true. I'm the one who took him to therapy for months. I'm the one who paid for the majority of it. And when I mean majority, I mean 98% of it. I paid for all but 2 sessions. I let the mother pick the location, and we were supposed to go half and half, and we used to take them back and forth. In the end, me, every week out of my account. She paid for 2 sessions, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm the one who's not seeking mental help. Are we crazy? Defamation of character. Why is it that good men, good fathers get treated like this? I am tired, and I'm talking to you, both of you who are probably listening. Bitch A, bitch B. Both of you are dead to me. I want you to know, you're dead to me. Why are you treating me like a scumbag? I've been there from day one, okay? From the dawn of time, not day one, but day 10, whatever. Out of 17 years, I think I can forgive myself for not being at their births, because each story has its own excuse why I wasn't there. But that's my only sin of fatherhood, was not being there for their births. After that, I was pretty much there from day one. I asked my kids, you guys have any memory of me never being around? No, cool. How many rules do I have with you guys? Well, not many. Okay, cool. Because they're good kids. But they're good kids because of how I raised them. How I raised them. I take full responsibility for who they are, because it sure as hell wasn't their mother and her moving every year for 8 years straight. It definitely wasn't their nana and the mom who fought year after year after year after year, back and forth, full of shit. One minute they hate each other, one minute they love each other, one minute they hate each other. Oh, I get kicked out. No, I got moved out. Bullshit. They're both full of shit. They're both full of bullshit. And they're both liars. Because their nana lied to this panel of people, and their mother lied to me. They started this whole thing. She lied to me. It's like I was set up. Oh, but it's not about you, it's about your son. It is about my son. And my son is fine. I got him a book. He's great. Does he have his moments where he's down? Yeah. Like all kids. Like all kids. I'm sorry. If he really wanted it, fine, I'll take it. But he doesn't. He doesn't feel it. He just knows that he has certain expectations for himself. And when he doesn't live up to it, he feels disappointed. And he feels down. Much like any other kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Normal
Defamation of character. To sit here and tell a good father that what he's doing is wrong when he knows it's not true. To tell a bunch of school officials that a good father is doing something wrong when it is not true. How do you do that to a man? What do you think that does to a man? I got so angry, I cried 3 times that day. Because I was just like, I can't believe, because the way I am, I'm unfortunately, I am partly my father's son. When we get mad, when we get to that point, we don't punch anybody. We don't break things. We don't punch holes in the walls. You know what we do? We cry. When we've reached the utmost impetus of our anger, we cry. And it's not sadness, it's anger. But that's how we vent it out. That's how we vent it out. Defamation of character. Gents, commiserate with me.
First of all, I didn't know that. I had no idea that you cried. You didn't tell me that.
Because me and you aren't that close.
Yo, grown men don't tell other men when they cry, bro. That's a man thing. Joe, when's the last time you cried? Exactly.
It was that night that you were on this episode and you started crying. Remember that?
That's not
Shut
true.
your mouth.
That's not true.
You did not shed a tear.
Yes, I did.
Anybody.
Yes, it was off camera. It was off camera.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Let's rewatch this right
he's
now.
full of shit. You know,
I went like this.
No, I know the last time Joe cried is when me and him parted ways in Atlanta. That's when he cried.
I went, I put my hoodie on.
Yeah, he
covered my face and I wept.
He definitely wept, so I know that for a fact. But guys, defamation of character. I shared 2 of my stories that happened in the last 3 weeks. I won't lie to you. Up until just recently, I was really low, especially on the daddy front. Really low, because when people tell you you're doing wrong and you know you're not, and it happens from 2 different sides, back to back, it affects you. No matter how confident you are, it affects you temporarily, and it did for me. What do you guys got? Commiserate with me.
Manny, you want to go first? Because I think I have one that happened. Not
got-
recently.
It doesn't have to be recently. It just happened. It happens to good
Yeah.
men, good fathers. It happens.
I got quite a few. I've had police called on me because family members just thought that that was the right thing to do because, you know, a certain somebody was acting out of character. And if anybody knows me from this show,
Yeah.
I'm very comedic.
Yes.
So for me to show anger,
Yeah.
I do it in a very comedic sense, or as Jason said, I tear up. I don't like getting angry. I don't like getting furious.
No.
I don't like being that guy. I don't like going to that part of me.
I just finished telling a friend of mine in Switzerland, and I just said, no, I just finished telling, no, those exact words. And I was talking to her in Switzerland, and I said that I hate it when they push me to that point. I hate it because there are warning signs. Danger, danger, danger.
Right.
My new phrase now is, you sure you want to die on this hill? I warn the person, stop now. You're pushing the button for no reason, and I'm trying to escape. Don't push me to that point. But when you do, I'll give it to you because you clearly wanted it. Because I have a very long fuse attached to a really big bomb.
Oh, yeah.
So if you really want to light all the fuses with it, then you want it, and you're going to get it. Then I'm the bad guy.
I thought that was a dick joke for a second, but never mind.
That too.
Okay.
It's always the white guy that says it.
Yeah.
But you know, as somebody who, and this will be the first time since it's happened to me, that I will ever publicly acknowledge this. I actually spoke to a friend of mine recently who had no idea because this is something that I don't really talk about. And this individual has known me for 20 some odd years. And when those words came out of my mouth, they were like, no way. That's not who you are. That's not you.
Yeah.
As somebody who spent 2 nights in jail because of an anger-induced incident that was
provoked.
Basically
Absolutely provoked in your own personal space.
In my own personal space, it was provoked, and the information was misconstrued. You know, I spent 2 nights in jail for it. Do I believe, and does that further speculate my skepticism in our lovely lawless system? 100%.
Absolutely.
But, you know, I don't like being that person, especially now knowing where it got me.
Yeah.
And again, being somebody who's lost character in a situation that was just an emotional situation, you know, shit happened. And you know, once that gets around, especially on certain sides of the family, you know, people start looking at you like, oh, you know, something's wrong with him.
Right.
You know, he's really got some anger issues.
Super concerned.
All I ever see is that he's angry. Now, again, these individuals have not known me for 20 some odd years and see glimpses of who I am. My family knows me, and they were like, holy shit. You know, my family doesn't even know this happened. So, surprise, family. I spent 2 nights in jail last year, you know, whatever. Some of you, very few of you know about that, but, you know, whatever. It's basically changed me on the range of anger that I allow myself to exhibit.
But you say allow, but I mean, I know the full story, and that was the heat of passion. There was no way you could have not reacted like that. I don't think so, because it was a situation you were put in. You weren't prepared for it, and it went off the way. There's no other way it could have gotten off. Even if it
happened the way that it happened. Right?
Exactly. But, so I don't want you to make it seem like Manny chose to take it that far. No, it wasn't a choice. It wasn't a choice.
It was something that happened, and you know, the result was negative. Shit went down, and I have learned since then that once I sense that I'm approaching that level,
the precipice,
that precipice, that ledge that I'm about to jump off of, just because I give up, I'm trying to be the quiet, you know, non-disrespectful person, and just lose my senses because it seems like it's hopeless to do anything else. You know, I've learned to either 100% walk the fuck away, or 2, if it's a situation like I was involved in at the time, seek other methods to remove the problem from the situation. obviously you don't do it yourself, but find another means to do so.
Or you try to avoid being put in that position again, I guess.
Right. So, ever since then, and even before then, the same family, they've very few and far in between have seen me on my little anger rants. And I've told them, I said, listen, as long as you know me, how many times have you seen me be this person, that's out of character for me? Oh, I think I can count like maybe once, twice, maybe three times.
Like a handful.
Yeah, like not even a full handful, just maybe let's say 3 times tops. I can say it from the top of my head that it's been 3 times top that I've done this in front of people.
Right.
And then I tell them, okay, and we're gonna spread this time frame for as long as it's been going on for, that I've been involved with this family. And you're questioning my mental status, my anger management, or is it the same result from a problematic situation that I'm currently still involved in? Think about that.
So what you're saying
is, what put me there?
Oh, boom, there you go. And that's what I want to get to it. My kid's mom had convinced her family, her mother, and at times my own family that I was the wrong one. And when they finally got over it and started to listen to me, I always told them, you guys never asked why. I say this all the time. Context for somebody's behavior is always key. So the story right now, probably on her side of the family, is Jason blew up again. This time he embarrassed himself in front of school officials. This is what he said. And what gets avoided is what happened. Why did he do that? Oh, he just did that. Wow, he's got problems. He's got anger issues. He's got to.
You know what? I never liked him anyways. I knew there was something wrong.
Exactly.
About him. I knew it.
I mean, of course they're going to be biased on their end, so they're not going to look at you.
You could be biased all you want, but I would always ask, whenever somebody tells me that somebody did something, I always ask, well, but why? Whether you're going to tell me the truth, your truth, or a lie, I still want to know context, because people's behavior, unless you're telling me this person just woke up one day and said you're a piece of shit, and I don't say that to you all day, and said it to you all day, there's got to be a why. There's context there, and if you can't give me context, I don't believe a word you're saying.
From the sound of what you've been describing to me about them for a number of years, they don't seem to be rational people.
They're not.
So rational people would give you context and would tell you.
You're absolutely right.
Speak to you.
And
they're not rational.
And the funny thing about that is 9 out of 10 times the family that's on that other side, they have their situations too that cause them to be out of character.
Right.
But at no point put themselves like, hey, wait, let me take a step back. Something like that has happened to me.
Yeah.
Or information has been misconstrued about me.
Yep.
Maybe I should, step out of the bubble and be like, yo, what's going on?
Yep.
Because in my situation, said family has done things in front of people that leaves you like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But no one says anything. No one acknowledges it. No one says anything. They just, that's something that's normal.
Yep.
Okay, well, how is that okay? And then something that's abnormal doesn't get questioned. Like
Perfect example. I used to say this all the time. I said it's biased. I said, because you would harp on me about something that I did or allegedly did. And I've told their nana this before. I said, but if your daughter did the same shit, you would not condemn her.
Oh, yeah.
Her daughter has done some stupid shit when it comes to my kids. And for all I know, not condemned, or at least not to a point. But I would say, even to my boys, but I bet you if this happened, if you like injuries, my boys have had some serious injuries on her watch. I'm talking about head face planted into the dashboard of a car. I'm talking about staples in the back of the head. These are all on her watch, right? Nothing. I said, could you imagine if any of these injuries happened on my watch? Do you understand the hell that I would have gotten from her mother, from her family, probably? How did this happen? But because I dare to question it, I'm wrong. This chick had the nerve to try to have me removed from an ER room the day that my son's face planted face first into a dashboard of her car, because I dared to say, how did this happen? You know what? He's going to come home with me. This is ridiculous. You see what I'm saying?
For her,
Had the
for her to
nerve.
yeah.
But in the end, if the roles were reversed, this happened a long time ago. If roles were reversed, do you think I would have gotten out of there without some kind of DCF called on me, some kind of court thing? Nothing. Nope.
No.
It's a double-sided bullshit that I'm talking about. And I've thrown it in their face for years. Double-sided. Because you know that the shit that she has done would not fly if I did it.
Right.
Would not. I have to be walking on eggshells and P's and Q's because I don't really still have a support system down here. But she can literally do harm or alleged harm or do make asinine judgments with little to no repercussions.
And no one say a word about it.
Yeah. Or if they do say something, it's passing and they let it go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's passing and they let it go. I know this for a fact. It's double standards.
It's the same thing because I've been told on several occasions, and it's just not with one of them. This is another incident that happened multiple times or whatever, where I've been called a person of violence because I enjoy putting my hands on people, and I'm not a fighter, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I've always said,
you were a lover.
I was a lover. I've always said, you know, and this is something that we promote on this podcast a lot. Like, context is key.
Yes.
Now, the reason why I say that is because yes, I put my hands on people. Now, the question is, how did I put my hands on people?
Yeah.
How? In what means? In what? In what way? So, I've asked one of these family members, you know, and this is something that I've asked numerous times in several family members. I said, okay, so in your eyes, what do you consider, you know, someone putting their hands on somebody?
Right.
Do I just, is this considered, you know, oh, my hands on somebody's body? Is that considered that? Are we talking, you know, fists to the face, you know, slaps to the body, you know, are we talking pinning somebody down? Like, what are we exactly like referring to? Because technically, you know, by all laws and standards,
anything is considered putting hands on someone.
This is considered
assault.
Battery.
Oh, battery
and assault. Yeah, this is considered this. No harm done. Just the fact that my hand is touching something, that's battery.
And that's a fact.
Right. And I learned this the hard way. And I've always
that was the other time you went to jail. That was the other time you went to jail.
Just once. Shut the fuck up.
Sorry.
I didn't get caught.
Stereotypical black man.
They never caught me, suckers. But I always ask, I'm like, you know, what do you mean? How do you look at it? What's your definition of it? Because if I'm putting my hands on somebody else to defend myself and to try and attempt to de-escalate the situation, rather than putting my hands on somebody else to cause them harm, how do you differentiate the situation? How do you even know what exactly happened if you weren't even there at the time?
Exactly.
Oh, exactly. I saw bruises. I saw markings. I saw this. I saw that. Okay, well, let me take my clothes off and show you what I got. You know, like, it's a whole thing. Like, I've been put in those situations several times in my life, and it's just like, listen, you need to understand. I go hard when it comes to my children.
Yep.
Okay. I will defend to death anybody, whether you're family, a close friend, somebody who's like my ride or die. I don't care. Like, I go hard for my family, my kids especially. And I've had to put my hands on people a couple of times for the sake of my children. Now, was it a means to in a violent way or to cause harm to that other individual? No, it was not. Because if I really wanted to, it would have gotten a lot worse.
Yeah, of course.
We'd be
of course.
I'm a 3-time offender, son. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. I'm only a 2-time offender, son.
I'm out here breaking charges. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, watch what you say to me, man. You know what I'm saying?
Apparently, this turned into a Rocky 6 movie.
We're trying to keep it light.
I tell everybody the same thing, and then, like, you know, I've had someone in my life, you know, run my my name in the court system, and it's all this stuff with violence. I'm like, if you actually like look into that, you know, it's somebody trying to like put a restraining order on me, and it didn't happen. It fell through. You know, I put a restraining order on somebody else, and then that got let go. or this, that, and like if you look through it, you'll see like, yes, the cases were opened, they ended in nothing.
But nobody takes that extra
no one
effort.
goes that far.
They don't want to
no
take
one goes that far.
They just want to see it, and they want to okay.
They use that, and they're like, oh, like I've been told like, oh, if I knew that you were such this person, I would have never gotten involved, or I would have never hung. Do I look like well, let me correct that. I do look like that'll fuck. I do look like somebody that'll fuck somebody up, but I have a heart.
But he doesn't sound like that person. He doesn't sound like watch stuff that he's in. Like that. I mean, come on.
Our friend
sweetheart.
Yeah,
our friend
Ralph.
His
baby shit.
Our friend Ralph has said to me, and I've known Ralph for 16 years. He'll tell you the first time he saw me, he was like, "That's that guy you don't fuck with." Like he looks like he's got this anger on his face. Like you don't want to mess with that guy because he'll straight cut you just for saying hi. He's like, then I got to know you, and you're like the biggest teddy bear. And I was like, I'll still fuck you up though.
Yeah.
I was like, don't let that fool you. Like if I get to the point where I gotta kill you, I love you, but I'll kill you.
I'll still you up though. That's so funny.
But it's just, situations like that, like misinformation and details that are missing and all that stuff, all that creates, things that get put out of context, and without the actual proper context, you don't understand what actually happens, which makes obviously a one-sided story.
It's not just that, but I want to throw this out there. When you're lied on or you're told something about you that's not true, and you react, you end up reinforcing what they thought about you. So in the end, back to my situation with the school board, all I did was, I can see him telling his son, don't go to no therapy, no matter what he says. All I did was
that man's Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
He's over here choking Bart.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And that's what sucks, is that you're put in a position, and when you defend yourself, if you don't defend yourself just the right way, and if they even give you the chance to defend yourself, you begin to act the way they think you are.
Yep.
And in the end, you just reinforce the bull crap that they think that they've created about you from get-go. Joe, let's hear something from you. Defamation of character.
I think one of the biggest incidents that happened to me is the incident that I got yelled at by you in Dallas.
The incident that absolutely derailed his life, and he's only now picking up the pieces.
Well, I wouldn't. So a big part of it wouldn't be the cause. Actually, it is the cause of the mother too, because she did like minimal work to actually try to reverse this.
Correct.
But the minimal work that she did could have been major work if she really put her 2 feet into it and actually
should have been
more.
Major work.
Right. It should have.
Could have. She should have. Look, don't get me started. Keep going.
Yeah, Manny, when I tell you, when we were in Dallas and he read the paperwork, because I brought the paperwork with me, like at that time, no one told me when I was going through the process for them that if you had just not said anything, or you just didn't bring it, or nothing, you just did what you were supposed to do normally.
Dallas fell apart because of this situation. That's why Dallas never happened.
Yeah.
Because of the situation.
So, in other words, nothing was found on the record by them.
Right.
But the reason why they did mention it and say something is because I myself brought it up. So when I brought it up,
because Joe was being honest.
He was being honest. Yeah.
And the sad
that's
part
the
about
problem.
Yes.
Being brutally honest is a problem now.
He was being honest, and honesty, genuineness, those things aren't valued in society now. Ruthless thrive. The ruthless thrive.
Yeah. And I guess this story in itself is a defamation of my character,
of course,
by the justice system as well, because of the fact that there was an incident back in 2016 where I don't
blame the justice system. I don't, because anybody that
particular incident,
I don't, because it wasn't the justice system. They're the last part of it, the school system. The child system.
Oh yeah, the board of ed. Yeah, 100%.
That is they provided the dossier that the justice system looked at and said, oh well, yeah.
This guy
I don't blame the justice system. I don't blame them. They worked with the information they got, which is false information or embellished information, and a false statement.
Right. Oh yeah. And then what Jason's talking about. Just to put it instead of doing an entire story about this, I'll just break it down
You can. I did
to
my
the
stories.
audience.
Manny did his
No,
story.
I'm saying because this is pretty straightforward.
No, of course, of course.
So I had gotten arrested in 2016 due to the fact that
I just want to make it very clear. I'm the only host on this podcast that has not been incarcerated for any reason. Carry on.
Yeah, you're black. It's easy for you to do, bro.
I know exactly. Yeah, you're not black.
We can make this happen. Okay.
You're right. You're right.
I was about to say.
Think about this guy next time you think about this guy the next time you go to Atlanta. Okay, just remember that. Remember that.
Okay.
I was about to say you're not black like us. Canceled.
Exactly. I was going to say now. Canceled.
We're canceled.
You're canceled.
But... So
I'm black excellence.
Please don't get me started. Please just don't get me started. That's another story. We should never.
Yeah, never mind.
2016 in December of 2016, I had gotten arrested for something that I clearly did not do, but I fell for the trap of having to constantly be that good guy that these two gentlemen are constantly talking about and preaching all the time. And it's because of my dumbass back then did not know any better. But I was, again, being a nice person, a nice gentleman, a nice guy.
Super clear at addendum here. He never came to me with the situation. I didn't know anything about the situation. Had he come to me, I think I would have helped. I don't know. I can't say I would have prevented his fate but I definitely would have given him some context, because as we talked and I said what he could have done and what he should have done, the phrase was, I didn't think about that. I didn't know that. So carry on.
Yeah. So one night after I was picking up my son, because the mother and I are cordial for my now 12-year-old son. Allegedly. I went to go pick him up, and when I went to
cordial, she can go suck a dick.
When I went to go pick him up that one evening, she had quickly told me that she needed to step out to go to the store real quick. So I said, no, I'm gonna go because I'm only here. I don't like being here. It's gross, disgusting. I hate it. So I'm gonna go ahead and
context, ladies and gentlemen. He insulted his kid's mom's domicile. Thus, the story began.
So I want to go ahead and just pick him up and leave. No. Just stay here for 5 minutes. I'll be quick. I have to get something from the store. I'll be right back. Whatever.
Nice guy shenanigans. Look at this shit.
Went ahead and left. Now I'm stuck with my son, who's obviously my son, and then his brother, and then his brother. So his brother,
who's obviously not his son.
Not my child.
Obviously not his child.
So at that time, given their ages, this happened in 2016. The brother of my son decided to switch modes and act completely like a jerk off. Went ahead and started throwing shit in his room, breaking stuff, screaming. Mind you, my kid is in the living room looking at me, waiting for his mother to get back so we can leave. And I was like, what's going on with your brother? Why is he acting like this? Oh, he got in trouble beforehand and mommy had to hit him. I said, oh, okay, well, that's unfortunate. So he comes back in the room, the other kid, in the living room right by the door, and I'm like, everything okay with you? Doesn't say anything. Has a mug on his face, mean, whatever. I was like, all right, cool. Luckily, 2 minutes after that, his mother comes back in and I explained to her what happened. She's like, oh yeah, he got in trouble before you came, so I had to beat him. Okay, no problem. Well, have a good night. I'll take him. Mind you, that in a little tidbit of that story I just told you, the other kid had a medical cyst. Now that I'm actually able to show the audience a medical cyst, Google it, please. And if you know anybody that has had a medical cyst in their eye, it kind of looks like it's swollen to the point where it looks like a black eye, kind of, but it's the whole eyelid is swollen. All right, keep that in mind. That following week comes, I get a phone call from the mother telling me that.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right now. The one that looks painful as balls. Yes, I can see how like I can see how that can turn into a I can see how that can turn into a black eye or look like you.
I kid you not, Jay.
Yeah,
Like,
it looks
now
like a
that I think
whelp.
about it,
It looks like a whelp on their eye.
exactly. Like someone just socked them right in the face,
Yep.
like just
Yep.
right in the eye. So
Oof,
okay,
it's
yeah,
painful.
I know, and it just was. And prior to that, I even said, like, are you gonna do anything to his eye? Are you gonna put anything on it, ice, whatever? Oh no, it'll go down. Okay, no problem. You do know he has school, right? And I did mention that he has school. This could be a problem. Ignored it completely. Whatever. Following week, school comes. The board obviously
it's like the universe was giving you a hint,
hints to
like
say,
hints, like you were more concerned about it her and look, and this is
yeah,
what I'm saying. It doesn't pay to be a good person sometimes.
no,
Nope.
It doesn't,
no,
because
especially when you're trying to help.
the parent who ignored the cyst and said it'll go away, no trouble. The has nothing to do with him mentioning it, bringing it up, putting it into the universe, gets his ass in trouble for nothing. Got nothing to do with him.
For
Carry on.
nothing. The board of
Sorry.
ed caught the child's eye.
Mhm.
Immediately brought the child in for questioning and said,
Yep.
who did this? What happened? Yada yada yada. Lo and behold, during the little interview that they gave his brother actually told the board of ed that I hit him. I socked him in the face, and somehow he managed to get a bruise that bad. Let me tell you something right now, and I don't really care how this comes off. If the three of us hit a 7-year-old right dead in the eye, he would not be having a bruise. He'd probably be dead.
Yeah.
Or he'd probably get knocked out. Let's be honest. Come on.
No, it's true. It's true.
And
It's
I don't
true.
and I don't mean to talk like that or say like that. I would never condone hitting
No, of
a
course
child
not.
like that.
Of course not. At all.
Three of us have kids. We would never do that ever,
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, it's not
But-
in our.
Yeah, we would never do that. However,
I think Manny's saying speak for himself. I think Manny said speak for yourself. That's what Manny's saying. Manny's saying
hold
speak
on,
for yourself.
hold on.
That's what he's saying.
Have we disciplined our children? Yes.
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 Yes. I mean, I can't tell you the last. I mean, I don't really remember their childhood, how many times I would have physically disciplined them, because again, part of my issue when it came to being a father was that my father took physical disciplining to an extreme that scared the shit out of me, to the point where whenever he would call our names, we'd walk up to him, stand at attention, and just be like semi shaking. At one point, I remember him telling me, you know that every time I call you boy, it doesn't mean you're in trouble, because that's what it was. We would stand there and we would be catatonic, and we were afraid at any moment he'd bust out this belt. Now this belt is a thick belt, and we called it the blood belt because it looked like dry. No, because the color of the belt, it was like a dark maroon, but it reminded us of what dry blood looks like. There's no blood on it. We called it, at least I called it, the blood belt. And when he slapped
in the family,
Right.
this thing has been in the family for generations.
That's right. My pappy hit me with it, and his pappy hit him with it.
Oh my
So,
God. This is like an RPG game.
So I have an aversion.
Why the blood belts?
Right. So like
Power
I said, so one of the many reasons why I didn't want to have kids is because I didn't want to do that to my kids. The floor, there's a piece of cotton on the floor, whip their ass, mad at the world, whip their ass. So I have an aversion to physical disciplining. I do, of kids. I really do. Beyond maybe stop it. And even that I feel kind of weird about. So carry on.
Well, when I'm talking about discipline, I'm talking about nowadays when we were raising our kids, we couldn't do the hard hitting that our parents had done. So it was more like the slap in the hand and the slap on the tushkas, whatever you want to call it. It was right, exactly. It wasn't I'm gonna beat you to death. I never did that to my son. I disciplined him by yelling, taking things away, and also hitting him on the hand.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. But the board of ed interviewed the kid, and the kid turned out and said, I hit him. I plainly hit him. My son, on the other hand, was telling the board of ed, no, my daddy didn't do anything like that. He didn't do nothing like that. He said all he did was stand there and wait. That's what he told the board of ed. He said he stood there and wait, and my brother was being, I forgot the word he used. He was being bad. He uses another word besides bad, but he just basically said bad.
Yeah.
After that, the board of ed kind of ignored what my own son said.
Which is what I find funny.
Yeah.
You took the testimony of two children of the same age, but you favored the negative one over the neutral or positive one.
I can tell you why.
Okay, by all means, man.
I can tell you why just from personal experience, because they have evidence of an injury. They have a story that correlates with the injury.
Mm-hmm.
And then they see a man that they don't know very much about, who could look like, he could potentially, beat children. Exactly. So that's all it takes for them. And again, nothing with your colorfulness, Jill. That's basically what happened to me. Phone call was made for a domestic disturbance.
Yep.
Blood was involved, and they see me, who was already enraged, and that was all it took them for me to yoke me up and take me away for 2 days.
Yep.
And that's the failure of the system that we have, and it's unfortunate, because the one thing about this shit is that this stays on your permanent record and can be publicly sourced by anybody.
Yep.
And that's the scary thing, because you get all these people that are like, I Googled him. Yep. He's like, I looked him up. Apparently he's got issues with anger. And it's like, oh, well, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, whatever.
Right,
so,
right.
And even though nothing came about it, it's not like it goes away.
Right.
It's not like anything happens. You can even go to the police department that made the arrest or whatever, and they'll still have an entire report stating what happened. Right. So even if it gets expunged in the court system, it's still at the freaking police department. So it doesn't even, it's there somewhere for somebody to look at. And that right there is like the biggest part of defamation of character, because here I am, a holly jolly person that just wants to, see everybody happy and
literally says spreads the love. Literally,
yes,
that's what he says.
I spread the love, and that's what I try to promote. That's what I want.
Literally and figuratively.
But exactly.
No figuratively, because I got no love to give. So. Fuck bitches, make money. But but with somebody like myself that tries to promote this stuff, and then you look at this stuff like, well, this data,
something in this
something different
doesn't match. Something in here doesn't go together. Something in here doesn't go together.
You're bipolar. You must be a Gemini.
Yep. Well, listen, I'm a fuck you up. Okay. Shoot.
So
Gemini's nuts.
That's like the biggest thing. And then
I forgot we're both Gemini, by the way.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
bro.
both of them. So and then the worst part of it is like there's so many women out there that fall into this like you guys are idiots. That fall into this let me like when they that the whole thing about women, there's no evil like a woman scorned or whatever. I'll coach that. There is no evil like a woman scorned, because
hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. And that is
evil because that's what they do.
Yeah. And hell is evil. Hell is where all the evil people go.
So if they know everything about you, they know all of your ins and outs, they know your background, they know this, and they know where they can get you.
Yeah.
And the way that the system is made, it is so easy. So easy.
Very easy. Implode your life. Yeah.
And it's not just with the police departments, the court systems,
the
board of education, anything. Perfect strangers.
The court, the child support, child abuse, child enforcement services, any of that stuff. And they'll just do it. They'll just do it for
ACS.
I had child support services. I mean, not child support. I had DCF in my house on 2 different occasions. And the first time they came around, it was just some angry lady walking around like, I'm gonna get this motherfucker. He's never gonna get his son.
Yeah, that's how they are.
I'm here because he's an asshole and he doesn't deserve to have children in his house. Let's just see what we got going around here. I got nothing. Shit. Okay. Well, you keep following the rules and no more of this angerness, mister. Yeah, I'm just gonna finish my report and walk away.
Right. And the report, what the report says? Inconclusive.
Nothing. Right. Inconclusive.
It won't even say nothing. It'll just say my findings are inconclusive.
So then the second time they came over, lady came, she's like, can I talk to the kids? Can I talk to your eldest?
No,
walk
bitch,
around? Well, no, they have to. So I wanted to. I was like, yo, listen, well, the first time she came, I didn't know who she was. So I was like, yo, who is you?
Pick it up, motherfucker.
Coming at my house, you know.
Okay.
Oh, well, I'm worried. I don't care who you are. Get your census ass bureau looking ass out of here.
That's
and I'll
right.
talk to you another day. I'm dealing with homeschooling with my children. Get out of here. And then I don't think she appreciated that, but she was like, I don't know. And she left me a card. And then I was like, I read the card and I was like, oh shit. I just made myself look worse to the wrong department.
Yep. See what happens?
So,
you see what happens?
Right. So then she came back and then I apologized to her. I said, I'm sorry. I was dealing with a lot that day. Homeschooling is nuts, whatever.
Get
She's
you
like,
out
no,
of here
I'm sorry.
now. Get out of here.
She's like, no, I understand, whatever. I didn't
Yeah.
really get a chance to, introduce myself. I just
didn't get
kind
a
of showed up
chance
out of
to-
nowhere. So whatever. She came, did her job, and she wrote in the report.
Great.
She came, did her report, and she put in her notes, there's nothing to say that this atmosphere is, hazardous to the children. He seems like an upbeat father, based on
Isn't
his
it crazy how it's
background.
open for 60 days too? Was the same for you?
Right. Yeah, it was
60
open for 60 days.
man.
It was open for
60
60 days. But
days.
my thing happened during COVID. So 60
okay.
days was like 2. So
shit.
it didn't,
Okay.
yeah, because she came out and then that was it. She wrote her report, said, I'm gonna close it. I got nothing to show, nothing happened here, bam, 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 done. And then I never heard from them again. But
I wish
again,
my
like,
shit happened during COVID.
but that's what I'm saying. Like the crazy thing is, the reason why it was rushed that way was because we were in a pandemic. If we were not in a pandemic,
Of
this
course.
bitch would have been here every fucking day.
Every day,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
popping up like, I just want to make sure you're not lying, whatever. And I'm like
How'd
why?
you do?
Yeah, like, hey, how'd it do, neighbor? Tricked you. I'm not your neighbor. Like, what? What?
Yep.
Like, it's so stupid, man. Like,
Yep.
and like I said, the way the system is just set up is it's to protect women, and I get that. I get that. I understand.
I don't
the
get it.
protection
I
of
don't get
women.
it anymore because now you
No,
want
it's overly done.
Yes.
That's the problem. They've overstepped the line now, because literally a woman can punch herself in the face and be like, he did it.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
That's it.
And that's the crazy part of it. And it's like, okay, we need to put certain systems and regulate them a little bit better.
Exactly.
And
It's not
add
about that.
things in
It's
there.
not about regulation. It's the phrase, show me the receipts. If you're gonna make an allegation, where's the proof? That's all you need to do. Stop taking the at face value, stop taking the word for it.
Right.
He's doing this. Where's the police reports? Where's
Right.
the bruises?
No,
Where's
exactly.
the documentation? Oh no, I'm not. Oh, victim blaming and no. I don't believe every woman should be believed off the bat. I'm sorry. There's vindictive, evil women out there. Okay.
Did you know that if
I
you
know a
apply
few.
for the police department now,
Mhm.
no matter where you are in the country, domestic violence will automatically be a disqualifier.
Yes.
And 9
Yeah.
times out of 10, from what I heard, rumor has it, but
Rumor has
if
it.
rumor has it, if 9 times out of 10, if the woman is on the receiving end of doing it, they might let them pass.
Yep.
But if the man is accused and has
Yep.
it on file,
Yep.
you might as well change your career.
Because they're gonna ask the woman, "Hey, what happened?" Well, he put his hands on me first. I totally understand.
You're good. Go ahead.
Let's-
Here's
you're
a gun.
good. You're
Here's a
good.
gun in the badge.
You're
Go
good.
ahead.
Well, the funny thing is, in my experience, the police officers were asking her, or not, I shouldn't even say asking her. And this is something, again, that shows that the system is broken. The
Right.
officers were guiding her for her to make a statement, for them to be like, she said it, we put it in our report, and now we got the motherfucker.
Yep.
So they basically were telling her like, hey, listen, he's done this before. Obviously, this is not his first time. He's done this before. So, how long before something else happens, or something
not
more
as
drastic
first
happens?
rodeo.
Right? Or something happens, like, right now you're just,
It doesn't
you have a
matter.
lax-
I don't care what they put in. She's still wrong for going along with it, especially when she knows in
Of
her
course.
heart she provoked it. She did it. She at your own place, and all you want to do is say, "Get out." That's it.
Right, but
Okay.
that's what I'm saying, that they
get
were
it.
just looking for something and they got it,
Y-
whatever
yes.
it was.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, they got it,
Yeah.
and then that was enough for them to take.
This is why I don't understand
that's the sad
how
part.
you are the way you are. Because I remember, I like I said, I had the pleasure of him of being with him and experiencing him in the social area around the mother of his children. And he was cordial. He was funny. He was still joking. You know, even when she had her moments, he was still fine. I'm telling you right now, I can barely stand being cordial or friendly with my kid's mom just for what she did to me in 2012 with child support and suing me for my parental rights. That's all that was.
But here's the thing.
If she ever put me in a position that had me locked up like that, I would never speak to this woman again, never be around her. She'd be dead to me, period.
Oh, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not around her alone.
Correct. But I
If
wouldn't be
I'm around her
at all.
But if I'm around her, again, remember I told you, I've learned how to tame my animal.
Right.
So I don't ever let her get to that point. I don't ever let her get to that point. But
it's not about letting her get to that point.
No,
it's about never being put in a position for that to even be something to control.
Right.
She has now completely taken away the right to be in your presence, period. She lied on you, and it's going to affect you for the future. That's it. You can be in my presence.
Now, my thing is, if I'm around other people,
right,
you know, they get to see what the actual problem was. They get to see, you know, everything else that they're going through with her on their own level, and they get to finally understand why I reacted the way that I did. Because I tell them all the time, I didn't act, you know, out of character. I reacted. And that's what you guys need to understand.
Reaction, exactly. Reaction.
This wasn't premeditated. This wasn't like, oh, if this bitch says one more fucking whatever, I'm gonna lose my shit. I reacted to something that she did. And I need them, for myself and for my children's sake, to understand it's not me. It's not always me. Yes, I'm not saying that I'm perfect.
No,
I'm not saying that, of course not. You know, I don't have my flaws.
Who's the catalyst?
But at the same time, right. But at the same time, there's something that keeps, there's the trigger. There's something there that's triggering me.
Yeah.
And that's why I am the way that, and lo and behold, it's been taking forever, but they're finally understanding. And they tell me all the time.
They tell me all the time. But I didn't have to be around her for her family to notice that she's clearly an issue. I didn't. All I know is that they looked at me and said, wow, you know, just you've really grown and you've changed. And I said, no. You mean I've gotten back to normal? You don't know the normal side of me. You're seeing it now because I've exercised that demon from my life, and she also helped me exercise her from my life. And now I can just like you said. You said you went to her to pick up, I don't know, some of her friends, and her friends never saw you that way.
I went to her friend's house to pick up my daughter so she can continue enjoying her night. And I stayed there, had a couple of shots, and played a couple of little board games that they were playing. And two of her friends that were there were like, I've never seen this version of him. Like, where did he come from? Who is this guy? And I told them right afterwards that when I heard about it, I said, because I'm no longer being stressed out.
Exactly.
Right.
These women have the ability to bring out the worst in you, especially when they try to provoke it. And that's the sad part about it, whether it's lying, putting you in a position. That's why I've always said Manny's a bigger man to me, because I would have never associated with my kid's mom again. I barely want to associate her with her now, given the past that I've had to deal with. I'm not perfect, but anything she can complain about me is over a decade or more old, way in the past. I can complain about stuff from last year about her, you know, friendly or not, you know, it doesn't matter, because the fact of the matter is they lie, they manipulate the truth, and they make good fathers look crazy or stupid or wrong. Joe, finish up your story.
So when the child told the story to the Board of Ed took it, called ACS, which we call ACS up in here in New York, which is Children's Services. I know you guys call it differently down there, but so and by the way, ACS, let me just throw it out there for a little side note. Fuck them, because they're the most unprofessional, fat, lazy bunch of people I've ever seen in my life. No, because you know, you ever see one of those women that are just like pissed at the world or upset they don't have a man, and then they take all that anger and all that bullshit
you referring
on
to
their
the
job.
modern women?
Oh, of course, yeah. But this one in particular, I remember she tried to fake act nice to me and my kid's mom. My kid's mom ripped her a new one, which look, I don't like my kid's mother at all. I think she's an idiot. But from the stories I've heard, she almost kind of made it worse for me because the mother had to go to both of the houses where we resided, where my son resided, but more so at her house. And the shit that I heard that my kid's mother said to her, unbelievable. I'm surprised she kept coming back. That's how bad it was. But she did. She kept coming back to check up on, because they had to do the 60-day evaluation to make sure that the child wasn't getting beaten, whatever, and constantly came back day in and day out to make appointments to check on the child, and nothing was wrong. But after the incident and his brother telling the ACS and the Board of Ed, they had ACS then called the police, and the police had to contact me and the mother, and we, lo and behold, went down to the precinct. Now, I thought the precinct down there in Brooklyn, downtown Brooklyn, was a ACS building, which it was. However, behind the building was an actual precinct, which shocked the fuck out of me because I didn't think it was. And I next thing I know, I'm getting questioned. And ACS again interviewed both kids and the mom. And the mother and my son were like, he never did it, never laid a hand on him. He doesn't hit me, doesn't do anything uncontrollably. The mom said it too. He would never hit him. There was no way that he hit him. I know for a fact, even explained to them countless times, look, I don't, at the time, she's like, I didn't know that that this cyst was going to be a problem. And I'm like, why'd you tell him that? Because you knew it was going to be a problem. You should have said something beforehand that the paperwork shows that she has a medical cyst. They didn't care. I got questioned. I told the detective too. Like, look, I didn't.
Can I ask you a question? When you said they re-questioned the kids, right? Did her son stick to his story that you hit him?
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah.
That's a piece of shit, if you ask me.
That's what I told him. I said, I said, I don't care how old this kid was at the time. I would look at that kid. I would spit at his feet every time I every time I was in his area, because that's messed up. So he stuck to his story each time he was questioned. Really?
And then throughout the whole entire incident, even through court, they found there was no evidence of nothing. Nothing came up. Of course, nothing came up. I mean, what are you gonna fucking find? Shattered pieces of the kid's face on the ground. Like, there's nothing to find. So lo and behold, I got slapped with a couple of charges, which were ridiculous and stupid. Made no sense. Followed me for many years, like these two gentlemen say, because I literally showed this guy, Jason, the whole paperwork of the court and the ACS and how they made me turned and made me look like I was a fucking abuser.
If I didn't know monster. If I didn't know Joe personally for years.
That's my story, by the way.
If I didn't know Joe personally for years, saw him with his son, had conversations, had long years of conversations, hanging out with him. I mean, I had you to not let this paperwork sway me on who he is. You have to have known Joe from the dawn of time, because what they wrote in those papers, both the court papers and the child of whatever services papers, I couldn't believe what I read. I actually had to stop for a minute and say, could this be possible? Because the way that I had to. I mean, I'm in Dallas, Texas, reading this, and I look at Joe a couple of times, like he's got a lot of tattoos on him. Like it was bad. It was very bad. And it was all based on circumstantial evidence. And the circumstantial evidence is the testimony of one kid. That's it. I'm not saying I believe kids, but what I am saying though is you need to have proof. You need to have proof, corroborating evidence. You need more, because kids are crappy too.
Yeah.
You know, and shit. But Manny, if you read what I read, you would question.
I would have believed it.
Yeah, you probably you'd have questioned it, because you'd
be like, Jay, Jay, are you okay?
You
Blink
would
twice.
swear, you would swear that he was a scum of earth. You would swear that he has no right to procreate. You would swear that he's a habitual child batterer. Like, it's the craziest thing. I looked at Joe and I said, they got all this from one interview? Where did this? It was like they blew it up into the biggest Mount Everest. You know, making a molehill into a mountain. They took a molehill and made it motherfucking Mount Everest. They made it the moon. It was so much, and I to this day don't understand. There had to have been more. Just his testimony and a cyst on his eye was enough to condemn this man.
Yeah,
it was the craziest thing.
It was wild.
And the fact that your kid's mom, knowing that her son did this to you, did not spend the rest of her existence trying to expunge this is crazy.
Yeah.
Because it was her son. And she put you in that position. It's funny because there was a situation where I was dropping off my kids to a party, and we were supposed to be swapping, drop off to the party, and then we swap, and then the mother will come, and then I'll leave the party. So the kids go there, and then their nana drops off their sister. It was just a sister at the time, and then nana contacts my oldest, come get your sister, brings the sister in, and the sister, it's me, the two boys, and the little girl, and I was like, where's your nana? Oh, she left.
Oh, yeah, I remember this story.
What do you mean she left? Who's watching her? Oh, I don't know. Mom should be on her way. Stop. Did your nana just leave your sister with me? A girl? Hold on. Okay. I don't know what she can eat. I don't know if this is a pool party. I don't know if she can swim. Hold on. This isn't going down like this. I went out there to look for the nana. Gone. I was left with this little girl, okay, at a party, because there was nobody else who could look after her, me, okay, because nobody else, and I don't even know her like that either. I have a relationship with, I don't like her mother. I have no relationship with her father. And the daughter was left in my care via the nana, and I waited up to, I want to say it was either as little as 40 minutes to as much as an hour and a half. I'm not sure. Because I was so confounded that you would leave this child.
That's too long, man.
You leave this child with me somewhere that I don't even know at a pool party, and you didn't even ask me. You just dropped her off and left. And I said, I can't believe this is happening. I said, guys, you contact who you need to contact right now. They were much younger. They were like 7, 8. I don't know, maybe 9. You know, They didn't understand why I was freaking out like this. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, can't be doing this.
And this, mind you, this stuff is put upon me. I don't let this crap happen. I would never put myself in a position where I was left with my kid's mom's other offspring. I don't trust my kid's mom. Don't trust her. I don't know that. I don't know them. I don't care. I've seen them a handful of times over the course of a decade. I don't have any interaction. I couldn't believe that happened. Nothing happened. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
What if this child said I touched her inappropriately?
Right.
What if this child said I fed her something that I knew was wrong to feed her?
Right.
What if that happened? I'd be in trouble. How is that right? That's the stuff that I'm talking about. It's the most asinine things in the world. That's wrong. What her leaving with her kid, that was wrong. Well, my kid dropping off her daughter and just dipping out. And I don't know nothing. Nobody told me. Nobody even asked me if it was okay. That's wrong. These things are wrong. And you're setting up good men for the okie doke is what they call it.
Yep, okie doke.
You know, it happened
right for the okie doke.
Yeah. Trust me, when I was reading your story, I remembered. I was just like, wow, could you imagine this shit could have happened to me? It could have happened to me easily. Yeah. Easily. Mm-hmm. And you're talking about a little girl, worse. Thank God that I kept my distance. I said, Dad, can we go to the pool? No, you're going to stay right here as a buffer. Your sister is going to be over there, and both of you are going to be here, and we're going to sit here, and we're going to relax.
Yep.
We're not doing anything until your mother arrives. I need to know where your mother is. I need to know where your nana is. Let's get it happen. I was so angry that I was put in that position. So angry.
That was really fucked up too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So angry. But that's the crap that I'm talking about. That's the bullshit that I'm talking about. The bullshit that these women visit, whether it's the grandmother-in-law, the family, I don't know, the women themselves, their friends. They visit this kind of crap on good men and set us up to fail. They put us in a position to react. They lie on us or make us feel or gaslight us, make us feel like we are less than what we are.
Gaslight's
we
a good
aren't
word.
okay, that we aren't as good as we know we are, that we even earn the right to be called fathers and daddies. Anybody can be a father. The three gentlemen on this podcast earn the right to be called dad and daddy. How dare you try and take that away from us? How dare you try and make us feel that we are lesser than we are? How dare you try to make us feel subconscious or self-conscious about how we react and act when we are trying to do what is in the best interest of our children?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
How dare you is what I say to you people.
Including protecting ourselves.
Exactly. That's what I say. So everybody mentioned in this podcast, I look at you dead in your face and say, how dare you? And you lost your goddamn mind. Whether it was last year, last week, or 3 weeks ago. How dare you? And with that being said, we're going to wrap this up. I'm Jason.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Manny.
Powerful as this is, I'm Jason. I did say I'm Jason already. Sorry. Sorry. I went full circle. Let's do it. I'm Jason.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Manny.
And I'm Jason again. And as powerful as this episode was, and I don't mean it to be this deep, I had to get this off my chest because there are other men out there, company included, good men who are being shafted or making them feel some kind of way. Own up to who you are, gentlemen. You're good men, you're good fathers, you're doing what is right. And just because they don't agree with what you're doing doesn't mean you're wrong. It doesn't take away from what you're trying to do. Okay,
Yep.
Feel your feelings, but don't fall. Because I'm telling you right now, men have walked away from their children for less than what we have experienced. Have walked away from their children for less than what I just recently experienced twice.
Yeah.
And we're still here. You're still there. Don't let the woman do that to you.
Yep. Don't let women tell you that just because you're not doing it their way, that it's wrong.
Exactly. Just because you're not doing it. Say that again. Just because you're not doing it their way, it's wrong.
Not the right way.
That's not true.
I've been told that
the highway.
I've been told that several times in my life, and
right.
I keep reminding people, we're not the same person. We're not cut from the same cloth.
No,
we didn't come out of that cookie maker.
And mothers don't always know best.
Right.
I want to throw that out there. Mothers
don't know best.
If I have to close this out for anybody who's dealing with these kind of things, just know that they're all fallible. All of them.
And just because they birth children does not make them number one in that child's life.
Exactly.
They are that ideal there is the stupidest thing that I've ever been told and heard on several occasions. But they came out of me. I grew them, so therefore I'm more important.
But here's the thing, though. Legally, that's the truth. Gentlemen, I want to let you guys know something right now. If you have procreated with a woman, you're with her, you're not with her, you're together, I want you to know you have no paternal legal rights unless you go to the court and ask them to do it.
Yep.
The mother has complete and total maternal rights upon giving birth. No father who has not gone to court and asked the courts to dictate his rights have rights. I learned that the hard way.
And always make sure you sign that birth certificate, because if you do not, you are setting yourself up for a whole life of failure and hardships later on. Because that has happened. That has happened where women give birth and of course, if you question paternity, always take a test. Yes. But there have been times where women will give birth to a child, forget to have the father sign that form that will eventually be the child's birth certificate. Mm-hmm. And that you right now have just given up all rights to that
Yep.
child because you have no proof unless you provide a paternity test, and then you have to go through the court system and all that other nonsense, just to be able to be called the paternal person in that child's life.
This is all true because I went through this whole thing. My kid's mom on both occasions did not put my last name, didn't give my children my last name. I had to get that in 2012, years after they were born. I had to put that in my docket. She refused. There are some other deadbeat people out there. They still my best friends, the baby that I watch, he has his crappy father's last name, and that guy is ridiculous. He's not around. He's in and out of jail. Okay. Me? No. She didn't give them why? Is it because she's a bitch? Probably. But the fact of the matter was vindictive and ruthless. It took me years. And in the end, I had to tack it on. My kids had 3 last names because she's a fucking ridiculous woman. They should have always had my last name. And yes, I had to go and take paternity tests and then sign a birth certificate and get it all changed. And it was a pain in the ass. She did that. Why? Because we didn't agree. Why? Because we weren't together. Why? Because I didn't come to the delivery. Why? Because we weren't together. Punishment for what? None of that, none of what I expressed has anything to do with my ability to be a father or my time being their father. It was her being a vindictive bitch. Because they do that.
Yep.
They punish you however they can. It's funny how women use children against the men all the time. You don't agree with me? Well, you can't see your kid. Wait, what? I just want to feed them McDonald's. You want Burger King? I can't see my kid. That's the reality of it. Hold fast, gentlemen. Hold fast, because I'm telling you right now, there's a reckoning that's coming for this kind of behavior. There is. What did Kevin Samuel say? Winter is coming. There's a reckoning coming for this kind of behavior.
And also Game of Thrones.
There's a reckoning for this kind of behavior. It's ridiculous because in the end, most of the stuff that we complain about and no way, no how isn't in the best interest of the children. It's a woman or women being women for the sake of argument and putting down decent guys, good guys. Some men deserve it. A few men deserve it. But you know the difference between a crappy father and a stand-up father. And the fact that I have to look at you and say, you could have done way, way, way worse, the baby daddy, than me, way worse. And you cannot be grateful that you procreated with a stand-up man that may not have wanted you, or that you may not have wanted, but is sticking around doing the right thing. And you're going to treat him like shit? That's a problem. And that's when you have to look in the mirror and ask yourself, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yep.
That being said, we're done. Thank you for your time. The last of the nice guys. And I swear to God, next episode, we're going to do another silly one again because it's just super heavy. All right. Peace out, you guys. Appreciate it.
The last of the nice guys. Follow, like, and subscribe on Twitter and Instagram at Last Nice Guys, Facebook.com/Last Nice Guys, or email lastoftheniceguys@yahoo.com.